So in this video, I want us to take a look at how we can create message boxes that's just typically talking about alert in that of the Python Tkinter. And I'm going to create a file for this, and we could just call this message, maybe alert or something of that nature. And we'll have that opened up right here. So the first thing I want to do is to go ahead and import my Tkinter. So I'm going to just do import Tkinter, and we'll have that right there. And I'm going to just do as TK to make that a shortcut. And after that, I want to import the specific module for this alert that I want to work on, which is basically called a message box. And for that, I'm going to just do from Tkinter. It's going to be from Tkinter, and I'm going to just do import. And what I basically want to import right here is actually called a message box. All right, so we have that in there. And the next thing I want to do right here is just basically define the function in here. So we're going to just do dev, and I'm going to just do something like, I'm going to just call that function something like show message. So this is going to be show message that, and we can throw in our what is it called, our colons right here, and then we can just do something like message dot, maybe something like show info. This is going to be show info dot, and we can go ahead and then pass in our brackets in here. So within this brackets, I'm going to just do information right here, and I'm going to introduce a comma, and then the next thing I want to do is just say something like hello. So this is just the message that basically want that particular box to output to people. All right, so if I do hello, this is a message box, can just put a dot in here, and that's just basically it on that particular line right there. So the next thing we basically want to do right here is just make sure that we kind of create our main window. To do that, we can do that around here, just do something like create your main window, and to do that we normally use what is it called, tk, to do that. So I'm going to put that in the variable, set that to be something like tk, and I'm going to do dot tk like that. And with that, we've created our main window in there. And then the next thing I basically want to do is really very simple, and that is just basically to create the title of this particular application right here. And to do that, we're going to pick our variable up there called a root, and we're going to just do dot, and this is going to be title right here. And within this place, we can just specify the title. So we could just basically call this something like message box, call that an example, something of that nature. So that is it on that line. So the next thing I want to do is to create a button that once we click on that button, it can go ahead and then review this particular message that will go right here. All right, so to do that, we can do that down here. So we're going to just do tk right here, and we're going to do dot button. So we do have that button right here, and now open up this brackets in here. Of course, we're going to put that to the root of the application, and then we're going to need a text right there, which is just basically the text that we're actually going to see, and that we can click on that. All right, so let's make sure we type it correctly. This should be root, and the text we want to see from the button we want to create is actually something like show message. So let's do something like show, type that correctly. This is going to be show message, and if we have that right there, the next thing we want to do is, since we have a function right here, we're going to just run a command in here, and to be able to trigger that particular function to kind of run. So let's set that to be equal to this particular function that will go right here. So I'm going to copy the function in here, and upon getting down here, I want to go ahead and paste that right here. And we do not actually need this. This is unnecessary, and we do have that right there. So if we have this, we've called our function in here. The next thing we basically want to do is to make sure that we kind of pack it to the main window so that we can actually see that, because if we run it the way that it is right now, we wouldn't actually see this particular button that we are just basically creating right here. So to do that, we'll do a shorthand. We can just do that down there, but we can just do dot pack right here, and that's just a shorthand, and then that will help us kind of pack that to the window. Down here, the next thing we need to do is just basically run the application. So we can do main loop and save the changes, and with that we should be able to go. So if we hit on running here, okay, we do have an error right here, which is just coming from tk right here. Okay, if we take a look at here, I think this needs to be a lowercase letter right here, and save the changes. If we hit on run again, we should be able to have that go through, and we do have this app right here, right? Which is, if you take a look here, you see the title message box example, and if you hit in here, we are really not seeing the message, but I expect if we click in here, the alert box should be able to show. So let me find out why that is really happening. So if you take a look at this right here, we need to find out, and they say name error, and we have message is not defined. Did you mean message box? Yeah, I think I mean message box right there. So take a look at that. It's coming from which line? And right here, this should be coming from here. This should be message box, right? So let's do message box in here, and that just we kind of imported this. So this is just how it should be. So let's run that again, and I think we still got an error right here. I think everything is really. Are you sure we ran that right? Everything should just basically be looking okay. Let's save the changes again. I don't think we need to do anything extra here. Let's stop and then run that again, and I'll wait for that to really run. All right, so I believe that that has really run. And if we take a look in here, now we hit in here, and now we're having that hello. This is a message information right here. You can click OK to disappear. You can hit that again for the message to come up, and once you click OK, it kind of goes away. And you can also close that right here. So it's working just fine, just the way that we kind of expect that to work. All right, so this is how we can actually implement something like an alert in that of the Tkinter within that of the Python programming language. All right, so as simple as that. So let's take a look at the code and just make sure that your own actually looks exactly just like mine. And if you're having any issues, you can just go to the comment section and then drop that. All right, so we only changed this message box right here. Earlier what we had was just message instead of message box, and we also, I think this particular letter right here needs to just be lowercase letter, and only the T needs to like be in a capital letter or uppercase letter right there. So that is just that on that line. So I think that you guys kind of captured that, and then I think I'll see you guys in the next one, and see you right there.